All right, here we go. We have a Queen Street legend in the building. Bimmy, welcome to Vlad TV.
Yeah, long time, right, Vlad?
Long time. We haven't seen each other in a while, too. It's been, oh, man.
The grills video, the Waka Flocka grills video. We was at Perfections, right?
I think so, at the strip club in Queens,
the strip club. Yeah, it was a strip club.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. All right, man, it's our first time sitting down. I want to start in the very beginning.
Yeah.
You were born and raised in Queens, New York.
Yes.
Okay. What part specifically?
Well, both. The north side and the south side. You know what I mean? I was born first on the south side. My grandmother's house is on Merrick Boulevard, 111, 17, 168th Street. That's the heart of the south side. You know what I mean? And then my pops, he bought a crib over on the north side on Farmers Boulevard. You know what I mean? So then my mom's moved us over there. So, you know, when I got older, like 15, 16, I moved back to the south side. Then I stayed over there.
Okay. And you're the third of 8 kids.
Yes, definitely. I got 5 sisters. You know what I mean? I got 5 sisters, and I got a little brother. I got a little brother, a little sister, and four sisters. You know what I mean?
Right. And Deb Atney is actually the oldest
Deb
child
is the
in
oldest.
the family.
Yeah, it's Deb, Jamie, Dodie, Risa, Bimmy, Joe, Pop. I remember Sean and Pop. Those are my brothers and sisters.
Okay. And you were originally raised by your mother and father.
No,
but
not by my father.
Okay. So, because I know your dad passed away when you were young, but wasn't he? But he was in the house at one point, right?
I didn't know him.
Not
he
really?
was at one point. I was 4 years old, and he left when I was 4.
Okay. And I mean, I remember watching the documentary, and your dad was, I guess he was originally in the war, right?
Yeah,
was
parachuter.
Vietnam?
He's a parachuter.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And then he came back, and he was really heavy in the streets.
Yeah, he was very, very heavy. He got into situation with the mob that was, supplying him, and then he started using it. You know what I'm saying? Him and my uncle and Uncle Dennis, and then my godfather. Then they little crew. You know what I mean? And then they started using it. And then then my pops had to leave. You know what I mean? Because they put the thing out on his life, so he had to leave and left us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I was watching the documentary, and I mean, you were too young to remember this, but she talked about how, Deb, went upstairs where your dad and I guess your uncle was, and there was like a pile of what ended up being heroin on the table.
Yeah. She
goes to sniff it because I guess he told her it was just baby powder, and she ended up overdosing and ending up in the hospital.
Yeah, he lied. He lied. My mom's not a street lady, you know what I'm saying? She into church, you know what I mean? And she into taking care of kids, one of my old-fashioned mothers. She cooked, you know what I mean? She washed her clothes, you know what I mean? She into that type of thing. My pops is a street dude, so he upstairs, doing what she thinking, it is baby powder. You know what I'm saying? I never seen drugs, you know what I mean? So until she got older, then she realized this motherfucker in my house is this shit, and she threw him out.
Yeah. Well, and I guess like he was actually putting packs of heroin like on Deb's like under her clothes when he was out hustling, so he wouldn't get caught with it. Like
you got to camouflage. You got to camouflage your drugs. You know what I mean? And back in the day, we had the can. You take the fake can out, the Pepsi can or some shit, and it ain't really a Pepsi. It's drugs in it. So back then they were using kids. You know what I mean? Shopping carts and baby carriages and all that. And that'd be it'd be the drugs in it.
All right. So at one point, I guess your dad owed the mob a bunch of money, and he went on the run, and they ended up catching him.
Yeah. He moved to South Carolina. Whenever he got caught, you know what I mean? These are the stories I was getting. He lived in a trailer house, and they burnt the trailer. He's a parachuter. He can jump out the window. How many feet is it come out of a trailer window? You know what I mean? So they burnt the trailer and burnt them alive.
Right. And I mean, it was a closed casket funeral because of that.
Yeah, definitely. I seen the casket, you know what I mean? And I walked up to it, I looked at it, you know what I mean? I had a chance to see the casket. But and it's so funny, like, I only seen one picture of him. He got one picture of this man's whole life. Like, how do you only got one picture? And that one picture is him in his army suit, like this, whatever that is. You know what I mean? He's in that suit. I'm like, where's his other pictures at? You never took a picture in your life? You never took a picture with your kids? You know, he got no pictures. You know what I mean? None. And that's crazy. I wonder, did he really exist?
I mean, you were what, 10 years old when you went to the funeral?
Yeah, about 10, yeah, I went to the funeral.
I mean, at that point, I mean, it still is your father, but you didn't really know him.
Yeah.
And you heard all these stories about him, you know, about your sister overdosing and everything. I mean, when you went to the funeral, did you feel sad? Did you feel angry? Did you not feel anything?
Wow, I never felt nothing. You know what I'm saying? I never felt nothing because I looked at my uncles as my father figures. All my uncles is I looked at them like they was my pops. You know what I mean? I looked at my mom's like she was my father and my mother. So, you know what I mean? This man was like, I was sitting there. You know what I mean? And it's just crazy as that question because I cried for my grandmother. I mean, when my grandma passed away, I cried at her funeral. You know what I mean? And when his mother died, I didn't cry at her funeral. You know what I mean? Because at the time, you know, I got locked up. And when I got older, I got locked up. And I called her to, you know, put the house up to bail me out. And she said, you got to ask your aunt. You know what I mean? She's like, I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? So I got angry at her. Like, I'm your son's only son, me and my brother. We your only grandsons. Like, how would you not come get me? You know what I mean? So that's how I really ain't want to deal with it. You know what I mean? But my mom's side, you know what I mean? Because they was the nurturers. They was the loved ones. They would show all my family, my sisters and brothers love. They took us out. They did these things with us. You know what I'm saying? My grandma was really a grandmother, like my mother's mother. You know what I mean? That's my heart.
Well, your dad passes away. Your mom is working 3 jobs to try to support these 8 kids.
Yeah.
And your sister had to basically hit the streets and start making money for the family.
Yeah. Yeah, Dev was off the hook. Dev used to throw parties in the house, take all the furniture out the living room and the dining room and had them guys put it outside in the yard and throw parties in the house. You know what I mean? I used to be on the steps just watching. You know what I'm saying? And Dev would get mad at me. But the first time I see somebody kiss was her. She was tongue kissing this guy. And I look in the middle of them two, like my face is like in the middle of them while they tongue kissing. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh shit, I never seen that before. So I'm like, you know, so Dev really like turned all of us out. Like, you know what I mean? We got turned out by Dev.
Shout out to Dev, man.
No question.
I've always had a good relationship with it.
Yeah, no question.
Okay, so you start to grow up in this environment. And at what point did you actually start getting mixed up in the streets?
When I failed off my basketball team in high school, you know what I'm saying? I failed off. I mean, I stayed in the 9th grade for 4 years. You know what I'm saying? For real. Every year I said to myself, I'm gonna do my work this year. You know what I'm saying? And then that first year I failed off, the basketball coach told me, he said, you can't play this year. You gotta wait till the middle of the semester, you know, to pick your grades up. When I ain't had basketball, I just started running around school and I wasn't coming to school or just doing what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? Then it turned into me just doing nothing. And then I go to the block. I see, you know, the local drug dealers. I'm like, yo, I want some work. And they was like, nah, you playing basketball. We ain't give you no work. Nah, get out of here. Then there's a bigger guy, you know, I didn't mention his name, but he told him, don't give me no work. He just take me to my games. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I was nice. He used to take me to my game, drop me off. I told people I was in his Corvette. They were like, yo, who that man? So that's my father. You know what I mean? I be lying and shit. You know what I mean? And then, you know, I just got heavy into it. And then one man gave it to me. He gave me the drugs. And I sat in the corner, like every day I was like a great worker. Like come out in the morning and my first little money I made, I bought a radio. And I used to sit in front of the store, the deli, in front of the store with my radio, selling my drugs. You know what I'm saying? And I just started every day, and it turned to my life.
Okay. And you're what, about 16 at the time?
Yeah, I was 16.
So this is like 1981?
Nah. It was 80, 83 when Run DMC started coming out.
Okay.
Run DMC coming out.
Did crack hit Queens by this point?
Nah, crack hit Queens in 85.
Okay, so this is right before the storm.
It was something called freebase. It was something called freebase before crack. You know what I mean? And then the funny thing, when we used to get knocked with the crack, the police ain't know what it was. They just throw it on the floor and just step on it. Like, you know, 'cause they were looking for powder. They weren't looking for crack. They never knew what it was.
Okay, so you started out with powder.
No, I started with dope, with heroin.
With heroin.
That's all heroin.
Okay. Well, and heroin is one of these really, really serious, dangerous drugs.
Yeah.
I mean, heroin addicts, there's really no limit to what they'll do to get another hit.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter who they
I
have
know
to kill,
that.
rob, whatever.
Yeah. My family members, like I said, my pops was on that. He was on heroin bad. You know what I mean? My uncles, they, you know, I had a lot of family members that was on it real bad.
I mean, in the early days of you just going hand to hand on the street, were you having bad experiences, you know, attempts on your life, robberies, whatever?
Nah, because the person that had the block was respected. So if you come over there, you know what you're gonna get. You know what I'm saying? Or if you do something over there, you're gonna get it. You know what I'm saying? So it's a difference, you know, in that. But it was just one time, you know, this dude I had a fight with for the block because he came over and tried to sell something. And I'm like, yo, you can't sell it over here. And, you know, he said, why not? Made it sell in front of me. We started fighting. You know, man, I knocked him out. He left, came back, said, won't fight me by the Chinese restaurant. I said, all right, come back over there. So when I went to go charge him, he pulled a knife out. I'm like, oh, whoa. I said, all right, drop the knife. He dropped the knife. I started charging him again. He pulled a garden tool out, the swinging thing. I turned around. He hit me in the back of my head with it. You know what I'm saying? And then I pulled it and I was ready to fight him again. And everybody's like, yo, you bleeding. You know, in the back of my head, I was bleeding. You know, I got stitches in my head. I had walked home, you know what I mean, from the block and went and got patched up.
Well, at one point, your mom actually found drugs in your room and said you can't stay here anymore.
Yeah, she threw me out. My mom's, you know, she told me, first she said to me, guys come home with like a lot of nice stuff. I had a lot of nice stuff. And she said, if I hear you selling drugs, throwing you out this house. I said, I ain't selling drugs. You know what I mean? Because I ain't know about renting, you know, going to get my own place. You know, I'm used to living under her roof. So, she found whatever, and then, you know, first she's going to beat me first. She took her butt out, was going to beat me. You know what I mean? And took up and like had me cornered in the corner in my room. You know what I mean? Caught me by surprise. And then I told her, listen, I'm gonna jump out this window. If you hit me, I'm jumping out this window. And she said, well, all right, go ahead and jump. You know, mothers back then like, go ahead and jump. I'm like, fuck this dude. I can't jump out this window. So I ran past her and went to my grandmother's house on the south side. I went to her house, my father's mother. And this woman, man, she just be drunk. Like, all she do is drink. You know what I mean? She just be drinking. And she said, you sleep on the couch. So I go on the couch, you know, because I was still going to school. I still was in Jackson. I was still going to school. And I walked from my house to school. And she laid the sheet and all that stuff on the couch. But the couch stink. The couch smelled like piss because she get drunk and pee on herself. So I'm sitting there like, fuck. Laying there, I'm like, so I stood up every day. I go to school, but I would sit up on her couch because I wanted to sleep on it because it was stinking. So then I went to the projects. I knew a dude named Clyde. God bless his dad. And Clyde, he the one that said, yo, I'm gonna give you some work over here now. I'm gonna give you some work. You know, see how long it take you. You know, nigga played me. You know what I'm saying? Hit me with the work. I'm selling the work. He taking all the money. So I'm like, damn, man, when I get paid? Like, you know what I'm saying? So then I had a girlfriend at that time, you know, which turned to my kid's mother. She was her sister was Prince's girl, Preem nephew. But Preem was messing with the friend, right? So when I came to visit her, I'm in the living room and Preem came in with the bags. He came with the bag with her mother, helping him up with the bag. I was like, oh, that's Supreme. I said, yo, can I have a word with you? He said, yeah, hold on. And he put the bag and said, what's up? I said, yo, man, I want to work with Clyde, but Clyde taking all, you know, he taking all the money. He ain't giving me no money. I ain't getting no money. He said, all right, come pick me tomorrow at my mom's crib. You know, my mom's, I said, nah. He said, of course, you're in the projects. I said, cool. I went to pick them up. That morning, I stayed over there around the corner. Stayed over there. I go to his crib. He said, yo, take all these cleaners clothes and put in that car right there. I said, which one? He had a Benz and a BMW, both on park across the street from each other. He said, put in the Benz. I put in the backseat of the Benz. I sat in the car, waited for him to come out the house. Brand new Benz, 560 coupe, smelling white seats, blue. I was like, damn, I'm gonna get this car. You know what I mean? I want this. It smelled good. And then me and him went to the cleaners, drove, put his clothes in the cleaners, got back in the car, took me to 150 and something, right? And when we pulled over, these dudes was fighting. But the big dude pulled out and shot the little dude. I said to Preem, I said, yo, you seen that? He said, no, I ain't see that, and you didn't either. You know what I mean? And we kept going. You know what I mean? Those were rules. I was like learning. You know what I mean? I was soaking it up. And then we parked on this block. We parked 2 blocks from the block where we was going. And on this block, it was Ferraris, Benzes, BMs, trucks, bikes, all type of stuff. That's for every drug dealer on that side of town. And me and walked the block, there was a bunch of people on the block, bunch of people. And I said, I remember my first time seeing Pappy Mason, and he had dreads. You know, my first time seeing him, and I looked at him, and him and Preem was talking, playing, you know. And then weeks later, they had a fight in the game room. It was Guard B. Guard B was with us. Just with the mole with Cat. And they had the game surrounded like this, and the people was around it. I'm on top of the game watching the fight. And they was betting money on these 2 fighters. Like when you come from prison, they put you in that ring to fight, like real fight. And niggas betting money, 100, 200, niggas betting money, real money. So I'm on the thing watching, and Josh got the best of Guard B. Guard B was falling, and Dalu, he was with us. He picked him up, like, but as he did that, he had nudged Cat. And Cat looked at him and said, Pappy. Dalu took off, I already knew. He went at the gate. They said, close the gate, close the gate. He got out, so I ran outside behind him to watch him. But Pappy pulled two of them things out, boom, 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 busting at him. I said, run, Dalu, run. I'm little, you know what I mean? I'm like, run. And Pappy turned and looked at me. And Preem grabbed me, like, no, that's my little man. That's my little man. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like learning, like, now you know who Pappy was, you know what I'm saying? He gave it to me right there.
Crazy. Okay. And from the point of really meeting Supreme, you were around him like almost every day.
Yeah. I was with Preem like every day. You know what I mean? He said, tell me, yo, you gonna hustle, man. You gonna work. You know what I mean? So I said, I want to work. I want to, get my own money. And he left me outside one day to work. He came back in the middle of the night and said, yo, come on, man. Because I was sitting out there. I'm going to get caught because that block was hot as a motherfucker. They was, you know what I mean? But you're going to make money in hours. You making some real money. You know what I'm saying? But he came and got me and told me, come on. So I've been with him like every day. And then one day he had left. He had went to the Poconos with this girl and shit. And this is a funny story. Dog is a dude that Preem always told me his name is Dog for real. Cause he can breathe fear. He's really a dog, right? And Dog always in and out of jail. But I never been in jail at this time. Never been in jail. All I hear is stories. You know what I'm saying? And his girlfriend turned to be my girlfriend when he was in jail. Cause we went to high school together. So Preem was teasing me and like, yo, dog gonna do this to you, dog gonna do that to you. You know, he ain't gonna do nothing to me. You know, I'm not a fight. He ain't doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? So he teased me for like months and months and months about dog. So one day I'm in the crib, I'm on the couch, knocked out, and Josh, God bless the dead, Josh is over the other side of the couch. So the doorbell ring. I get up, I go to the door. It's Dog with all his shit. Like, he had a missing tooth right here in the middle of his mouth. He like, open the door. He knew who I was, but I didn't know, exactly. He opened the door. I looked at this nigga. I said, "Make the fuck out of here." So I went and sat down. So Just said, "Who at the door?" I said, "Dog." He said, "Why you open, man? Fuck that nigga. I ain't open that door." You know what I'm saying? So just went up and got it. So he came in with his bag, dropped his bags off, because he came from jail. So he looking at me all hard, and, so my man Smitty up at the dad came out the room, like, yo, what up, dog? Yo, what up? They hugging. So as he's hugging him, his face is on Smitty's shoulder, but he looking at me. He just looking at me all hard, like just staring at me. So I'm like, this motherfucker, right? So I ain't saying nothing. I sat there. I ain't look away or nothing. I looked right at him. You know what I mean? So Preem come out, Preem hug him. They all like, whatever. So then 2 or 3 days go by, Preem go away. I'm standing down the hill. With the girl. So I'm standing, me and her talking in the projects. And he come through with another dude, right? I ain't gonna say his name. We one of our members. He come through and he said, yo, Kay, come here. Like that to her. He said, come here. So she ignored him. You know what I mean? So he said, bitch, I said, come here. Like that. So I'm like, this nigga called you a bitch? Then he said, I make you and that nigga suck my dick. I said, whoa. So I called my man Green. I said, yo, come to the project. I gotta fight this nigga right now. I gotta fight this nigga, right? He told my girl to suck his dick and me. He want me to suck his dick too. I'm like, oh, whoa. I said, yo, so he, Green Eyes came, and he said, where they at? They're down the block in, safe house. So we go, he knock on the door. Like, yo, what's such at? So the main guy comes out. Green Eyes grabs him. Boom, don't get you. So I go in the crib looking for him. So I'm like, yo, where dog at? They bagging up. I'm like, where dog at? They said, oh, he come out of nowhere. Yo, what's up? I'm like, what's up? He said, you strapped? So he started checking me, right? So I started checking him. I said, you strapped? Like that. He swung on me, right? So when he swung on me, I ducked and I caught him. Boom, 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 dropped him, right? When I dropped him, I put my knee on his chest and I had him like this. And I'm just swinging him, boom, 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 right? So he said, hey, hold on. Let's stop them from fighting, right? So now I remember Pre always said to me, he's a dog for real. So I'm like thinking, so I got him, I'm like, so I let this nigga up. So as I try to get up, he started grabbing my leg. I kicked him, boom, and I ran up the steps. So as I go outside, he runs behind me. But now he got the burn on him. He got the thing on him, he got the pole on him. So I'm like, we going around the car like this, me and him going around the car. I said, drop the gun. I said, we can fight, drop the gun. He said, stop. I said, nah, drop the gun. We can fight. Drop it. He went and dropped the gun. Then my man came out. One of the bosses came out. Like, yo, what's up? I said, yo, this nigga got a gun. Man, you pull a gun out on me. He said, you got a gun on him? He said, nah, I ain't got no gun. This nigga, you lying. Nigga, you pulled the gun out on me, man. You crazy. You got me running around the car with the gun. You know what I'm saying? Fuck out of here. Yeah.
It's a typical day in Queens.
Yeah, typical day. Typical day.
Okay, and I mean, the Supreme Team really became one of the biggest crews in that area, and they were controlling a lot of spots in the Baisley projects?
No. There's a lot of places.
A lot of places.
Baisley
being one of them?
Baisley is our home. That's the headquarters. Okay. That was the headquarters.
Okay.
That was the headquarters.
And I mean, from what you explained before, it was kind of similar to New Jack City. It was that type of operation.
I mean, that's where they got it from us. You know what I mean? Somebody infiltrated that. That's where they got it from. Like if you go back in the day, right? We had a business. We probably been the first direct TV, pay-per-view, whatever you want to call it. We had a business called Textar Communication, where Preem started, where we had a dude, he was putting the satellites on your roof, like in '85. Putting the satellites on your roof. But what he was doing, he would put you sign up and get the satellite, the whole packages and all that, whatever. At nighttime, he'll send his crew in there, they steal them off your roof. You know what I mean? So it just fucked the whole business up. You know what I mean? So it's forced us into the game, really, you know what I mean? Because we go legit, but then, you just lose it.
Right. And then crack hit New York.
Crack hit New York in '85. When crack hit New York, yo, dog, it was so crazy. Like you watch everybody lose their life. Like I'm talking about everybody, from police to fire department to lawyers to niggas in the street to anything, chefs, whatever you want to say. They all come to you. They all gonna come to you. You know what I mean? Like me and my man just had a rule and shit. And You know, any girl that we want to mess with, if she get on crack, you only got like 1 week to mess with her. Cause after that second week, she stink, she dirty, she fucked up, cause you really chasing that shit. You know what I'm saying? So, but you catch her that first week, then you know such smoking that shit. How long she been smoking? You know what I mean? And then one time, Just lied to me because I caught him. You know what I'm saying? God was dead. Just gonna get mad at me. You know what I mean? So he said, yo, come down to my spot. You know what I mean? I said, all right, cool, I'm come down there. I go down there, and we had a girl in there. She was naked. He said, yo, we can together. Woo. I ain't gonna tell that story because I'm gonna get so much flack for the story. Yo, they gonna kill me. They were like, yo, two niggas, the women program, they were like, oh, them niggas, but it's our era. You know what I'm saying? It's our era. It was crazy. You know, our era was really crazy, bro. And I'm gonna really honestly say we didn't really know better. The way of life we was taught.
Well, I mean, at the height, you know, you guys were making like 20, 30,000 a day? More than that?
More than that. I was making that on one block, 50 on one block.
So you guys were making hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Right. Supreme was the head guy, and Prince, his nephew, was the second in command.
Yeah. See, what people don't understand. What people don't understand is like Supreme team was just me, Prince, Josh, and Baby Wise, right? But Prince had his own crew. We represented the Supreme team. You know what I'm saying? Prince had his own crew. He was his own boss. You know what I'm saying? We was over here with Preem. You know what I mean? Prince was just his own entity. You know what I'm saying? It's like you got Target and Walmart. You know what I'm saying? Walmart got their own business. Target got their own business, but they know each other. They play golf together. You know what I'm saying? You know, they look out for each other every now and again. You know what I mean? Certain things. I know that in the back scene. You know what I mean? So it was like when people say Prince was our boss, he wasn't our boss. He had his own crew. You know what I'm saying? I was the boss of my crew. Just was the boss of his crew. Wise was the boss of his crew. You know what I'm saying? But we answered the Preem. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, and I mean, I'm just trying to get the timeline right here. Was it 86 when you went on tour with Run DMC?
Yeah. 86, 87.
Okay, and that was the Raising Hell tour.
Raising Hell tour, yeah.
Okay, so here you are, you know, you're doing all the shit in the streets, and then you get this opportunity to go on this major tour with, at the time, the biggest rap group really in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. I guess it was it an MTV performance where it showed, you know, Run DMC with their, with their Adidas, sweatsuits and the black hat, and then here you are in the back wearing the same outfit. Like, yo, that's Bimmy right there. Like that was wild when I saw that.
Yeah. You know, Vlad, that was the most funnest time I had in my life. You know what I mean? I was signing autographs. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't know what to write. I just put Bimmy of Run DMC. You know what I'm saying? I ain't know what the write on there. You know what I'm saying? And when we did Joan Rivers, God bless that lady soul. We did Joan Rivers, Soul Train, we did BT, all that stuff. We did, and then we had to do the Garden. We had to do the Garden, perform in the Garden. And I told them, I told Run and them, I said, I'm not doing the Garden. You know what I mean? I'm one of the biggest drug dealers in New York. I said, I can't do the Garden. And they said, no, you're doing the Garden. I'm like, so now I found myself on stage in the Garden, looking at the crowd. So now all I see is people pointing at me like, I'm like this, ignoring them like, I'm like, fuck, this got me. But then when Jay was scratching and asked the crowd, can I bring DMC out? And he scratching, the crowd going crazy. And then DMC came out, gave me my high five, gave Hurricane his high five. And then he stood there and we all did this. And then he said, can I bring Run out? And Run come out. And then Run like, my boys looking good, look at my boys. You know what I mean? So and after that, he said, I was backstage and this man came to D and said, what are those? He said, "Ma, Data's," and the crowd went crazy. And I was good then. I was like, man, I'm all right now. Because the crowd ain't paying me no mind. They listen to the songs. You know what I'm saying? Then when Peter Piper came on, that went crazy. So I was like, man, I'm good. I'm good. And then I left. You know what I mean? I came, one show we had in Philly, I left my fedora home. I'm getting money in the streets, so I took a cab. I took a cab from Philly all the way to New York to Queens and came back before the showtime and had my hat on. Because you got to wear that crown. You know what I mean? I couldn't hit the stage if I had my crown on. So I had, took a cab from Philly and drove all the way to Queens and told the cab, yo, I'm going to pay you double. Just hurry up. Get me back.
Okay, well, that was 86.
Mm-hmm.
But then by 87, Supreme ends up going to jail.
Yeah.
And when he goes to jail, Prince takes over the organization?
No, he took his side of the organization.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? We are one, but he took, you know what I mean? Me and Justice handling all the Supreme business outside at that time. You know what I mean? Prince took care of his business. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, from what I understand from reports, that became a very bloody time.
Yeah, it did. But see, people don't really understand, like, you got guys that they make up stuff, man. They make stuff up, man. They make stuff up. And some stuff be true, some don't be true. You know what I'm saying? Me and Prince, we lived together. The whole time he was home, me and him lived in the same house. We lived together.
Okay. Because, I mean, well, according to reports, they were saying that at least 8 murders were ordered during that time. You don't have to comment on it, but this is what the reports were saying. And by late 87, Prince actually ends up getting locked up as well.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets a bunch of charges.
Yeah.
How were you dealing with that during this chaotic era? Supreme locked up, Prince locked up. Like, obviously there's a lot of heat on you because you're affiliated with all these guys.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Vlad? When they say music soothes the beast and music soothes everything, in sports, you know what I'm saying? Sports the same way. Me and Josh started throwing basketball tournaments for money, you know what I mean, for different crews to come and play us. Like Rich Porter, Al Porter had a crew, AZ and them had a crew, Eric B. and Rakim had a crew, you know what I'm saying? I used to bring Albie Shaw and Slick Rick in the park. You know what I mean? Albie Shaw came to the park one year, he had to leave. You know what I mean? So I was channeling with that. With all the backlash we were trying to get, I was channeling with basketball, music. Salt-N-Pepa was in the park with me. Like, you know what I mean? I was doing different things for the community, for everybody else to, take that away from the team. What they were saying we was doing was bad. You know what I mean? 'Cause I know me and my man Justice good. You know what I mean? What they said about whoever, they can say it. You know what I mean? But as far as we go, like with the bus trips and helping kids go to school and all that, that's what we was doing. Prince and Prim was doing it too. You know what I mean? They were doing the same thing. They took care of the community. That's how I learned it from them two guys. You know what I'm saying? So, they older than me, but I also learned from them too. You know what I'm saying? So I don't take nothing away from them. You know what I'm saying? They took care of the community. So whatever people say about them, they say things about everybody. They say things about me that I know ain't true, but they say it. You know what I mean?
Well, that same year, you had a guy that was working for you named Corey Pegues.
Yeah.
He ends up getting into it with a guy on the block. And, the guy ends up basically, telling him to get off the block. And he can't sell there anymore, and embarrasses him in front of everybody. Corey decides to go get a gun and kill him. He runs up on him, puts the gun to the guy's chest, presses the trigger, not realizing the safety's still on. Presses it again. It still doesn't go off. Then the guy pulls out a gun, starts shooting at him. And then at that point, Corey goes on the run. How were you reacting to that? Because you knew Corey and you were connected to his whole situation in a way.
Yeah. All right. That story, that happened with Corey on the north side, away from us. That's when he got down with me. After all that, what he did with that guy over there, whatever they had going, he needed the, you know what I'm saying? He needed the muscle. So he came over to me and I put him to work. You know what I'm saying? That story right there. But what happened with that story was something happened amongst our family, and a certain guy put a gun in his hand and said, when we get in the spot, you gonna kill him. So, but I seen his face. I'm looking at him. I'm like, I just got him over here. I said, this dude ain't ready for that. I said, I can't get him involved. So I'm gonna go with him, with you, and then we all gonna go together. So we happen to go together, and we get in the spot, and I'm like, man, please don't find this dude, man, because I don't want my man, you know what I mean? So after that, I'm looking at his face. He's nervous. He's walking, his legs is shaking. He's like, man, I ain't never killed nobody before. So he as he walking, we don't find the dude. Corey leaves and don't come back. He joins the army. He goes join the army. Then he joined the police department after that. So I was like, my dude was really, really scared. Like, he really was like, I ain't with none of this.
Yeah, I mean, we did an interview with him.
Oh, yeah, did?
And yeah, he ultimately became a cop. And then later on, he finally, after he retired, he revealed that he was part of the Supreme Team and everything else like that. And there was a lot of backlash. They're calling him a thug cop and everything. Yeah, I mean, it's a crazy story.
I mean, they got mad at him because he told his truth. Like, you know what I mean? If you got a truth, there's stuff that we all got going on that we regret that we shouldn't have did it. Well, I'm quite sure he wish he wouldn't have did it. But he grew up like we all grew up in poverty. You know what I'm saying? So you trying to make you some money to help your family. You know what I mean? And he got caught up, and then he learned, and he went to the army, and he came back as an officer.
Well, then in 1988, the next year, that's when I felt like things really escalated in Queens.
Yeah.
Because there was this Guyanese immigrant on this block that Pappy Mason controlled.
Aldrin.
And he would call the police whenever people would be selling drugs in front of his house. The house had been firebombed a couple times. So the police set up a police car in front of the guy's house for protection. And in the police car was 22-year-old rookie cop Edward Byrne.
Mm-hmm.
According to reports, Pappy Mason, who you had mentioned before, ordered a hit on this cop. He ends up getting killed in the car, and that set up a chain of events that essentially Edward Byrne became the face of the war on drugs in America.
Yeah, Bush.
Well, Ronald Reagan personally called the family, to give the family his condolences. And then when George H.W. Bush actually ran for office, he had Edward Byrne's badge that he would pull out at rallies. The level of attention that came from this situation, describe it to me, what happened in Queens after that.
Man, I remember that as vividly, like exactly what's going on in 88. I just bought me a new 300 CE, black and gold Benz coupe. The doors come like, it was just crazy. And the police would pull me over in it, and they would tell me, if I catch you over here getting this car, I'm gonna put this car up your ass. And I'm like, how you gonna put a car in my ass? Like, you know what I'm saying? So I said, all right. So I broke out. Then they had a group called TNT. They put that together, TNT. So if they catch anybody on them blocks, they beating you up. They're not taking you to jail. They putting you in the hospital. You know what I mean? They was just, and these cops was like big mountain guys. Like, you never even seen these type of police ever. They would post up on your block. Nobody was getting no money. If you out there, you usually TNT come around Tuesdays and Thursdays. You know what I'm saying? Those are the days they hit your block, hit your house, whatever they're gonna do. But then they start just hanging around every day, unmarked cars, 4 in the car. Boom, next your whole block is flooded with all of them, and they whipping you out. I mean, kicking your ass and throwing you in the car after that. You know what I mean? And one year, that same following year, it was like, I remember it was going towards 4th of July. And one of my guys, I'm on one of my blocks, and we doing the fireworks, whatever. And the police, the unmarked car came, and they came on the block. They said, everybody got 5 minutes to get off this block. Now, mind you got guys that live on the block. They got houses. And I had a stash house. I had a house on that block that was mine. So it was like, all right, If we catch you out here, we come back around the corner, if you're out here, you know what's gonna happen. So as they get pulled off, my man threw firecrackers in their car. Man, them dudes jumped up that car. I didn't run. A couple of dudes ain't run, but a lot of people ran. Yo, them dudes just grabbed me and pulled me, threw me in the car, threw the cuffs on me, and threw me in the back of the car. So I'm in the back seat of the car. So I'm like, yo, why you arrest me? Why am I under arrest? Shut up. Punched me right in my face. Now, police know how to hit you and leave no marks. Back then, they hit you and leave no marks. So now I'm coming in the precinct. So I told the desk sergeant, I said, yo, this nigga's pumping my mouth. The dude took my hoodie and dragged on my face and said, shut up. In front of them. They ain't did nothing. So then I said to myself, I gotta shut up. Cause these motherfuckers, they gonna hurt me. They gonna, you know what I mean? So now I'm quiet. So now I get out 2-3 weeks later, same year, 88. We going to a club, and it's me, another guy, and a girl. The girl is on the guy's lap. I'm in the back seat, me and my guy, we back there. So we going to a famous club, but we got a, thing on us, right? So we driving, and my man rolled the window down, and the police on my car come on the side of us. And he talking, and we said, yo, you can't get in there with no gun. So I said, yo, police right there. He said, you can't get inside the church with a gun. I'm like, yo, 5 minutes later, they pull behind, whoop, whoop, pull us over. We at, right? So now, the driver dude, my guy, I don't say no name, he passed the gun behind him to my guy who worked for me, who's a lower guy, that you gotta take it. You know what I'm saying? So I see him trying to tuck it. I said, I'm looking at him like this. Nah, put that on you, right? So now, they pulled him out, the driver. Then they pulled the girl off the guy's lap. You out. You get out. Now I'm getting out. So now they pulled me out, put me against the car, handcuffed me. So now I'm looking. I see him trying to tuck it in the seat. I'm like, don't do that. Don't do that. Because it's going to take all of us. I said, don't do that. So now, but he got the straw in his mouth. So the police come to him now. They pull him out. So as he's getting out, they pull him out, they searching him. They see the gun. They say he got a gun. So they slapping him. Take that straw out your mouth. He trying to spit the straw, but the police hitting him. I'm like, yo, how you gonna do that? Right? So now they got us lined up on the thing. So my other man, the driver, he said something. The police do a roundhouse. Kicks him. Boom. So I'm like, so then my other guy, they punch him in the chest. Right? So now we get in the precinct. So they're like, why the fuck you laughing? Right? He looked at me and said, why the fuck you laughing? Right? I said, because y'all beating our ass, bro. You just did a roundhouse on my man. You know what I mean? Y'all fucking us up. You know what I'm saying? So the nigga, he looked at me and he said, put us in the pen. And then we got in Harlem, in Manhattan, the Tombs. And they let us all go, but kept him, my guy with the gun. You know what I mean? And I said, don't worry about it, I'll get you out. When I get back home, you'll be right out.
Well, I mean, yeah, it basically became a war between the drug dealers and the police at that point because one of theirs got killed. Well, 4 killers were identified in that murder. Philip Copeland, Todd Scott, Scott Cobb, and David McClary. I guess Corey Pegues knew 1 or 2 of the guys.
Yeah, I knew all 4 of them. Me and Dave used to play ball together. You know what I'm saying? Me and him used to play ball together, and it's never a problem with me and Dave. But at the end, he had got down with Glaze and them from Brooklyn, and and I was just saying to him, like, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? And like me and him had like a little discrepancy, like, because them guys wanted to do something to me, at that time. You know what I mean? They wanted to do something to me, and I'm getting money. I'm Queens. I'm getting money. So they feel as though I'm from Brooklyn, I'm here, let's invade. But, you know, the team is strong, so it ain't just because the two heads is going, that don't mean the other guys, you know what I mean? So, you know, so things was going on, but then Dave wound up getting mixed up in that. I don't know how that situation happened, but they accused him of it, you know what I mean? And it wound up happening to him, you know what I mean? I speak to him on the phone. I spoke to him on the phone.
Well, Scott Cobb ended up giving a videotape confession. He provided all the details, told about how people were bragging to each other, and he actually said the hit was ordered by Pappy Mason. All four were sentenced to 25 to life, and they're all still in prison to this day.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess from your point of view, why do you think Pappy Mason ordered a hit on a police officer? Because that, I assume, is a no-no all across the board, right?
Yeah, but I don't know if it's factual. You know what I mean? That he ordered that hit. I can't sit in his chair and say, yeah, Pap, because Pap was a close friend of mine. You know what I'm saying? So I can't sit here and say Pappy ordered that. Or, you know, court papers, all that. You know, everything I really can't, you know what I mean? I gotta see with this. I gotta see, and I gotta hear with this. I gotta, you know what I mean? I can't go on somebody saying he did this, you know what I mean? A lot of things, I went to prison because somebody told on me. You know what I mean? So I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Right, and Pappy's still in prison. He got life in prison.
Yeah,
right?
he got life. I should talk to him. He was an ADX. I talked to him before. You know what I mean? At one point in my life, you know, I had 2 houses on the block, and I gave him one. You know, he called home from prison and said, "Bim, let me get one of those." You know, we hustled in the same area, like same. And I told Pappy, and I gave it to him. You know what I mean?
Now, did you deal with Fat Cat during this time?
Yeah, I dealt with him. I used to watch. You remember that show, Lifestyle, Rich and Famous?
Right.
Back in his, I used to sit in the store.
Robin Leach.
I used to sit in the store with him and watch it with him. You know what I mean? Because his niece was my girlfriend. So we was going to high school together. I was in high school, which, you know.
Right. Well, in that same year, because I
bless
remember I interviewed Brian Glaze Gibbs, and we talked about the situation. There's a guy named Allah Just, who was beefing with Fat Cat. They ended up throwing a firebomb into his mother's house.
Yeah, he killed his sister.
And ended up shooting, they shot up the house. In the process, Fat Cat's sister, who was in a wheelchair, ended up getting burned to death.
Yeah.
And most of the other family members got really burned themselves.
I know. I don't know about most of the family getting burnt, but I know the sister because every time I go over there, I'll say hi to her. You know what I mean? She's bedridden. You know what I'm saying? And I say hi to her. You know what I mean? She knew who I was, but she couldn't really talk, like whatever. But she said hi to me, you know, whatever. And I know the firebomb, you know, got through the house, and she died. And that's when the funeral was going on. In the wake, I go visit. I pay my respects, and that's when Glaze had a bunch of people in the crib, and they followed me outside. You know, nigga, it was over a chick that they said I was messing with, but was Fat Cat's girl, you know, at the time, you know, and they kept questioning me like, "Yo, you fucking with her?" I'm like, "Nah, I ain't fucking with her." You know what I mean? But one thing led to another, then that was it. You know what I'm saying? And then we left.
Yeah, and I interviewed Brian Glaze Gibbs. He admitted to killing, I believe, 6 people over the course of his career. I mean, at this point, you're seeing people getting life in prison, houses getting firebombed. I mean, at a certain point, were you saying, you know, maybe this isn't for me? Maybe I need to get out of here because it's probably going to end badly based on what I'm seeing around me?
Nah, I was already gone. My mental was already gone. You know what I'm saying? I was already in tune with the streets. I was in tune with the killers. I was in tune with the bomb. I was in tune with all that shit. You know what I mean? I was ready for it. But what really jammed me up was my own people. You know what I'm saying? When they was going to buy their own work and mixing them with my work. I come on a block, they talking about this block is slow, that block is slow. You know, then I go to different areas and, you know, I'm like, this ain't for me no more. Cause I know what I'm gonna do. You know what I mean? And I just really got into the music heavy. I started getting into the music, you know, heavy.
Right, because by 89, I guess McGriff, did he get 10 years at that point?
Yeah, he got 10 years.
Right, and then Prince got out in the spring of that year, and he started to rebuild the organization.
Yeah.
And during that time, what was really happening from your point of view?
I mean, well, people was getting money. Prince is getting, he brought a lot of different connects to the to the team, and we was getting money. You know what I mean? That's all I know. I'm a money guy. You know what I mean? I'm not a, we got a security team. You know what I'm saying? That's what they do. I'm a money guy. You know what I'm saying? I go get the money. We take trips. We do regular street shit. You know what I mean?
The tattoo tears that you have, when did those actually, happen?
Think like 88.
Okay,
88.
pretty early.
Yeah, 88.
Can you talk about what they signify?
Yeah, I was crying last night.
There you go.
Tears stuck on me.
Okay. Well, in 1992, you end up getting arrested yourself.
Yeah.
What led up to that?
Well, I was going to Atlanta to my sister's house, and I rented a car. My sister Jamie, she just bought a house in Atlanta. You know what I mean? And I was dating a rapper, a female rapper. I ain't gonna say her name. I was dating a female rapper. That's why you start smiling. You start smiling.
I know. Can I say who it is?
Okay, Vlad.
Okay. Well, according to interviews, it was Sweet Tea.
Yes. So, I was, so I started hanging with Salt and Pepper. I'm hanging with them. She gets jealous. She gets mad, and she had this dude at her crib, and I told her, I said, I went to a block because I had a stash house down a block from her. She didn't know. You know what I mean? So I told her, I said, yo, who Benz is that in your driveway? And she said, oh, it's my friends. I said, where your friend at? He's in my, he watching TV. That's what she said. She said, he watching TV. But mind you, I know her house. She don't have no TV downstairs. Her TV's upstairs. So I say, so you got a nigga in your room? Looking crazy. I'm like, all right. I said, I'm gonna go around the corner. When I come back around the corner, tell him to leave. So when I came back around the corner, he was gone. So she came in the car. I said, she said, you don't want me, marry me. And I said, marry you? I pulled into my car, and I ain't gonna say it for the rest, but I pulled in my car, that was it, right? I ain't hit her, but that was it, right? Weeks later, she called my phone and said, I had somebody want to buy something. And I said, yo, go to the studio, go make some music. I said, don't get into this game. You know what I mean? I said, don't get in this game. Go get some music. Go do something, right? So she kept calling me. I said, let me go on the block, see what she want. So I go down the block. So I come in her crib. It was this dude named Godfather. I'm going to say his name because I know he set it up. The dude Godfather, he was in the kitchen with another dude, the agent. The agent dude was from Brooklyn, right? So she had like a picnic style kitchen. You know what I mean? So the dude was sitting in there. So I'm looking at him, right? So I'm looking at the dude. So I'm talking to the dude Godfather. I seen him around the area. So I'm like, yo, what's up? He said, yo, homie want to buy something. Well, what's he want to buy? He said, he just want to buy one. I said, all right, cool. I said, you got the money? He said, yeah, you got the money. He said, how much you got? He told me the price. I said, nah, you ain't got enough. So the dude jumped up. He started pulling out money out of his thing, like stacks, like, yo, we got money. But he's a police. He's a whole police. Like, yo, we got money. He's spreading it out. I'm like, all right, let me get that, right? Because now my greed hit me. I said, let me get that. I said, yo, you come with me and leave him here. I'm going to the projects now, because she lived on a block from the projects. So I go to the projects, to my other stash crib in the projects where I work at. I go in the projects, I knock on the door, get in, boom, go to the closet, pull it out, put the thing in me. I come outside the project, but the whole time the field team is following us. I don't know this until I read my paperwork. The field team is following us. So now I get in the car with the dude, Godfather, I hand it to him, like, yeah, you hold that. You know what I'm saying? So we get back to the crib. So these little kids outside, I'm playing with these kids. She comes outside and said, yo, they want you upstairs. I said, all right, cool. I go in the house. I go upstairs. These niggas busted open and everything already. So I'm like, so now my vibe is hitting me. I'm like, yo, these dudes ain't right. They can't be right. Right? So I'm looking at the dude. So the other agent nigga, he talking. He said, yo, how can I get more? I said, yo, go through him. I said, go through him. He called me. Go through him. So now I'm chilling. So I asked me questions about Mark Jackson. Like, yo, I heard y'all getting a store together. Cause me and Mark were talking about getting a store called a Hip Hop Shop. You know what I mean? Way back. We talking about getting a store together. And I'm like, damn, how the fuck this nigga know this shit? Right? So I said, nah, the plans ain't going through. So I'm trying to get out of it. Cause I'm saying, these niggas ain't right. If they outside waiting for me, whatever, I don't know. So as I leave, I go to Atlanta. So now when I get to Atlanta, I'm cool. Bobby got dancers. Bobby Brown got dancers. Shane, Salim, different girls that I knew just to dance for her. And dance for Bobby and Whitney now, right? At this time, they dance for them two. So now I'm down there, and I call them. I said, "What's up? What y'all doing? What's the squad tonight?" I said, "Yo, come get us. I said, "You got girls?" Then they said, yeah, Bobby's sister." I said, "How Bobby's sister look?" But the whole time she's on the phone. I don't know if she's on the phone. And then I said, "Put her on the phone." So put her on the phone. She said, "I'm here. I'm on the phone." So I said, "What's up, baby? You want to go out tonight?" She said, "Yeah, I'll go out." We go out. I bought all the girls roses. We stayed in the Residence Inn because Bobby's house wasn't ready at the time. So we stayed in the Residence Inn with his whole family. Everybody lived at. So we in the Residence Inn. We just stayed there for a week. Now, mind you, I told her I'm coming back, but I wasn't going to come back. I just wanted to fuck. So I was like, I'm going to be back. But I don't know. So now, as I get back, I go back home. And my man Josh, God bless his dad, he said, "Yo, what the fuck you do? You saw something to the police?" I said, "What you talking about?" He said, "Yo, all the police around here looking for you." I'm like, "What?" So I called Bismarck. I said, "Biz, we're going to switch cars." So Bismarck gave me his MPV. He said, "I need my car in a couple of days." I said, "All right, Biz, don't worry about it." I stayed in there for like a month. Biz was heated at me. He was, God bless his soul, Biz was mad at me. I was like, he knew he had no big speakers. Yeah, I wanted his car. So we go down there, and I told him I'm back. I said, "I'm back." So now we start dating and shit, And then I came back up. One day I was gonna buy a car. And the police, they was on the plane because there was this other chick I was dealing with. And she gave me a license in a dead man's name. You know what I mean? But I had it in her safe when I'm traveling and running around. So as I'm ready to leave, she said, "You shouldn't go to New York. Don't go." I said, "Mind your business." I said, "I'm good." So she said, "Well, I'm not opening the safe. I'm not giving you." I said, "Open it." So I snatched that chain. And then she my husband bought that chain and whatever. So I threw the chain and I said, "Fuck you." And I left. And me and my other guy, we got on a plane. Next thing you know, when I'm landing, they laying for me. They right there laying for me. And they took me. And the officer, what's them airport officers, what they call TRC, whatever, TLC?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so they hit me, and the chick was popping so much shit. "You going to jail? You going to first your life?" All type of shit. And I'm like, "Listen, bitch, you don't even know who I am. I'll be out tomorrow. You sound crazy." So boom, I go in front of the judge that day. My brother sent his lawyer. And the lawyer first came in, "You'll be out. Don't worry about it." I said, "Yo, my name is Bimmy, man. They got me leader to this, leader to that." So then as I'm walking out, the DA started talking, and he said, "Yo, he's the boss of the Supreme Team. He Fat Cat. He this, he that." He started saying all type of everybody's names. I'm like, "What the fuck? Why you saying all these people's names?" And he said, "We want a $2 million bill." And judge said, "Granted, $2 million." And then I was like, so all my family, everybody was there. And I'm like, looked at him, I'm like, and I just walked to the back. And I called Bobby. And I said, "Bobby, they give me $2 million bill." He said, "Be out tomorrow, don't worry about it." You know what I'm saying? And then that following month, because they had to do a bail sufficiency hearing, see where the money came from. You know what I mean? So They bailed me out. And then I'll never forget the DA told the judge said, who's Whitney Houston? He didn't know who Whitney Houston was. He said, the money's good, Your Honor. The money's counted for. You know what I mean? And I got out. And then when I got out, the bail, they had said, you gonna cop out within a month. They want me right back in. You gonna cop out, or you ready to pick them, go to trial? And I said, fuck it, let me take this time. You know what I mean? 3 to life. I just took the time and go on my business.
Right. So you took a 3-year to life plea deal.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that's sort of a dangerous plea deal because when you get that to life, that could turn into 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
You could just keep getting denied every year.
But Vlad, that's what they thought. They thought I was going to fuck up in jail. They thought they can hit me at the board 2 years. But I laid low. I was like, I already knew that was a hit bid. Everybody kept telling me in jail, that's a hit bid, bro. They're going to hit you at the board. You know what I mean? But at my first board, I made it. You know what I mean? Because what happened was I went to first they had me do, I told the judge I want shock. Because that program in New York called Shock where you do 6 months and come home. So when I got to upstate, I told the counselor, I'm supposed to get shocked. He said, shut up and go do your program. I'm like, this motherfucker, I gotta do all this time. I said, fuck it. You know what I mean?
And you get out in 1995?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so here you are. Now you're out. I guess Anthony Mason from New York Knicks gave you $50,000 in cash, just like as a welcome home gift.
Yeah. Because Mason's a close friend of mine, and he had a few things, but I looked out for him. You know what I mean? Whatever. And gave me a welcome home present. Gave me $50,000, but one thing I promised, at that time, I was religious. I'm Christian. You know what I'm saying? And I promised God, I said, God, if you let me out of prison, I ain't gonna sell drugs no more. And he let me out earlier. And I sold drugs. And I lost every dime within that 2-week period. Lost everything. And found myself back on the 4th floor in work release to go back upstate with the red dot on my name. And the counselor said, if you have a job, I'll let you out of here. I called my guy, Corey Rooney. And Corey said, what can I pay you? You know what I mean? Like, Corey, I don't give a fuck about the money. I said, I just need a stub. You know what I mean? So I put the counselor on the phone with Corey. He said, yeah, he can come work for me. So boom. And that's when my life turned. You know what I mean? I went to the studio. I was in the studio every day watching him and Prince Marky D. God bless his dad. Like, damn, I'm saying God bless his dad. There's a lot of people. Like, Prince Marky D and him was partners in production. You know what I mean? Like with Mary, Mariah, everybody. You know what I mean? And I sat there and I watched them produce. I watched them make records. I said to myself, I'm gonna learn this. You know what I'm saying? And then my PO used to come to the studio with me and play PlayStation with me. You know what I mean? And she seen me sitting out of trouble. And then my first record I made was It's a Shame remix with Corey Rooney for Coogee Rap. And Russell heard it. Tom Mottola heard it.
Mm.
And Tom Mottola came to me and said, I want to give you a job. And I just stared at him. I'm like, street motherfucker. I'm looking at him like, a job? I don't know what a job is. You know what I'm saying? So I looked at
For those that don't know, Tom Mottola was the president of Sony Records.
Yeah, no, chairman.
Chairman, right, even bigger.
He was bigger than that. He was chairman. Mariah Carey's ex-husband.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And he said he want to give me a job. And Sony's a different corporation than Def Jam. Def Jam is more street, more me, like how I grew up off that type of music. Sony had pop and all that stuff over there, church music, nothing bad with it, but they had all that over there. But over here, it's straight up DMX, Jay-Z, you know what I mean? Like that Slick Rick, LL, like that real shit that I grew up, on the. So I took Russell said, go see Leo. So I'm gonna go see Leo, and he said, your office is right over there. I went in there and sat at my desk and like, I ain't know the first thing of nothing. I know I love music, but I was like, once I learned watching, all the other people that's there, you know what I mean? I learned real quick. And then, platinum albums start coming. Platinum, like me really on hands on. You know what I mean? Like structuring, you know what I mean, the music, instruction, the lyrics, and all that type of stuff.
All right, and now you're an A&R at Def Jam.
A&R at Def Jam.
And you're working with Method Man, Nas, Slick Rick, LL Cool J. Were you managing LL Cool J at one point?
No.
No, okay.
I never managed Chris Lighty was. Valet.
Okay, right.
I was just like exec producers albums. You know what I mean? I was like making a lot of decisions with his music. You know what I mean?
Well, that next year, 1996, 50 Cent meets Jam Master Jay. At the time, he was just a drug dealer in Queens, but Jay saw something in him and started to really put him under his wing, taught him how to rap, taught him how to structure songs and everything else like that. And 50 Cent and Black Just were super close.
Yeah, super.
Right. And that's how you actually met 50 Cent, because Just was your man also.
Just is my brother.
So what was it like initially when you met 50 Cent?
I ain't trust him because I know he's out robbing. You know what I mean? He's robbing. And one thing, me personally, I don't like dudes that, you hustle all day long and then somebody just come take it. That's crazy to me. You know what I mean? So I'm telling Just, don't trust him. You know what I mean? Just, that's my little man. That's my little man. You know what I mean? I'm like, but then as progressed, we all got tight. Like, you know what I mean? He started working with Corey. You know what I mean? He started working with Jay. You know what I mean? And it becomes amongst us. You know what I mean? We became, all tight.
Well, I just interviewed Tony Yayo.
I seen it. Shout out Tony.
And, he talked about how there was 4 people in Queens that weren't scared of Supreme. 50 Cent, E-Money Bags, Hamo, and Big Nose Troy. And those 4 guys essentially terrorized Queens in their own way. And what he said was that Supreme didn't like 50.
But I remember Preem coming to the block one day and a nigga tried to like sun 50 and rub his head, and 50 rubbed his head. And Preem, and that was the day I know Preem didn't like 50.
What is your take on all that?
I can't say, just they terrorize Queens. A lot of people terrorize Queens. Like we all had our share. Everybody had their summer, like a terrorizing the area. You know what I'm saying? You always got guys that come out, to terrorize the area. But I don't think Preem had a real problem with 50. You know what I'm saying? I don't know the details of, how it became what it became. You know what I'm saying? Because as a man, I don't get into men's stuff, like they problems. You know what I'm saying? But I know both of them was my friends. You know what I'm saying? So what do you do? You know what I mean? What do you do? You know what I mean? As a man, you know what I mean? All I can do is step back and like, yo, talk to this person, talk to that person. Like, yo, you know what I mean? But you got guys that feed that fuel. They feed it. You know what I'm saying? They want to see harm done to him or harm done to him. You know what I'm saying? And, in the hood, they known for that. They good for that.
Well, like I said, Jam Master Jay takes 50 under his wing. 50 shows up in the Onyx's React music video, which is off their second album. And then in 99, 50 Cent signs to Columbia Records and he drops How to Rob.
How to Rob.
Where he basically talks about robbing Puffy, Bobby Brown, and Whitney, who you're close to, Wu-Tang, Jay-Z, Stevie J, Big Pun, Will and Jada, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then that same year, that's when the beef between 50 and Ja Rule started. At one point, there's a situation in the studio with the knives. There was a fight that happened in Atlanta. Now, but you were never close to Murder Inc. and Ja Rule in that, right?
No.
Did you know about how 50 and Murder Inc. were getting into it during this time, or was that
I was outside when we was getting into it. When it happened, I was there. I was in the studio downstairs in the A room. Me and Corey, because we had Mariah there. we was in the A room. You know what I mean? They was upstairs. You know what I mean? When I'm hearing all the commotion, everything will happen, I come outside, and that's when I seen Fifth coming out. Like I'm like, what's up, bro? You all right? Like I'm all right, like that, and walked out. He had too many words. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't know at that time what was going on until everybody started talking. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But me personally, you know, he from the South Side. I'm from the South Side. You know what I mean? I don't like all that. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, that next year in 2000, a song called Ghetto Quran that 50 Cent wrote ends up leaking.
Mm-hmm.
And it essentially names all the big street guys in Queens.
Mm-hmm.
Supreme, Prince, Fat Cat, Pappy Mason, Gus Rivera, Chaz Williams, Corley Wall,
Mm-hmm.
a guy named Vinny Ocean, Thomas Tony Montana Mickens, Rich Porter, Alpo, you know, from the Harlem side of things, Furtado Brothers, E-Money Bags, and he names you.
Mm-hmm.
The line is, I know a lot of N-words that get dough like Bimmy and Joe and Prince and Righteous from Hillside with a ball on his nose.
Yeah. You said it right to the T.
Right to the T. When that song came out
Mm-hmm.
and you first heard it, how did you feel?
I felt good. I felt he bigging our hood up. He bigging Queens up. You know what I mean? I felt good. You know what I mean? I feel he putting, because you know, when people say something about Queens, they're like, Queens? You know what I'm saying? They don't give us, and when he made that, I'm like, yo, yeah, show them what it is. You know what I mean? I ain't had no problem with that. You know, nobody else was doing it. You know what I mean?
I mean, it was a hell of a song.
Hell of a song.
I think it's really one of 50's best songs, period.
Yeah.
Did anyone have a problem with it, though?
Right, Vlad? I know a lot of brothers I know a lot of N-words and get dough like Bimmy and Joe. Joe is my brother. You know what I mean? Like he gave it up. He know what it was. You know what I mean? How you can get mad at that?
Did anyone get upset over it because they felt like it was revealing too much,
I mean,
street info, or not really?
Not really. That was being said. You know, people mad he made that song. What? Nah, man, get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, it was a tribute. Is how I look at it. But then again, Queens. But I'm not from there, so I'm just from the outside looking in.
No, it's a fact.
Well, and then on May 24th of that year, 50 gets shot 9 times.
Mm-hmm.
When you heard about that, what'd you think?
I was hurt for him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Real talk. Nobody deserved that. Nobody, you know, especially, you know, if you're the receiver, you know what I mean? That's nothing to play with. He could, you know, it's nothing to play with, you know, and I know him. You're a good dude, man. You see what he do with a lot of brothers. He put that money, he help you. You know what I mean? He's a part of us. If you watch how he live, that's the team. You know what I'm saying? Fifth is a militant. He know how to move. He know what to do. Time or whatever. He gonna perform. He gonna do what he gotta do. You know what I'm saying? He's a pinnacle Queens South Side dude. You know what I'm saying? And this is the world seeing them. This is what they getting. And there's a million of them. Like you just said, E-Money Bag, Troy. You said, what was you said? Homo, all of them, all the ones you name, we all the same. Everybody's the same. Everybody. And God bless them. Everybody's the same. You know, one thing I learned in war, right, when you're a soldier, if somebody die, you can't keep, like, pushing them, like, pushing that envelope, like, fuck him, he wasn't real, he wasn't this, you know what I mean? Them dudes was real. You know what I mean? I don't take nothing from none of them. They was real. You know what I mean? And I watched mobsters give they flowers to their enemy. You know what I'm saying? You can't say them dudes wasn't real. Them dudes is real. You know what I'm saying? All around the board.
Well, I think it was after that Black Just got killed.
Yeah, by accident. You know what I mean? I never spoke about this, but I'm at Def Jam at the time. I work at Def Jam. And I always knew, like, when you're in the streets, you got to move around, switch cars, you got to, live here, don't live around this area. So I already knew that. So I'm in Def Jam. I can't get into nothing. I can't, because I come through the same door that everybody come through every day. So what I'm supposed to, you know what I mean? So I'm sitting in my office and E-Money Bags walk past. And he stops and come back and close my door. Now I'm off my desk already. I'm off my desk. And he came to me, he said, Bim, that wasn't for Just. Just like that. He said that wasn't for Just. I just looked at him, man, and I say, E, that is Just. He's dead. He's dead. And E just looked at me, yo. Because at one point, me and E used to ride around Queensbridge trying to work with Nas together. You know what I mean? So at one point, we all was together. Everybody, Troy came to me for help. You know what I'm saying? These guys is good guys to me. You know what I'm saying? I don't, how it mixed up, how I got to that, I don't know how I got to that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how I got to that.
Well, I'd done an interview with Sauce Money, who was close to E-Money Bags. And he said it was over a car. Right. E-Money Bags was also running with Mobb Deep,
Right.
and Nas,
Right.
and Nori.
Right.
The whole Queensbridge crew. And a real crazy situation ended up happening in Queens, where I guess him and Supreme got into some sort of, argument over some money, over a car or something like that.
Over $1,000.
Over $1,000. It's crazy when you say it out loud right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was over a car, but my thing is, it's all underlined.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A car is just the vehicle to get it to where it went, but it's all underlined. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I guess how did this go? It was someone owed money for a car and didn't want to pay it, and then that escalated into a deadly situation.
Yeah, it was no money, really. It was no money.
Yeah, it was a little bit of money because it was like a,
You walk around
it
with
wasn't
it
like
every day. You walk around with it every day. You could pull out your pocket here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when you got pride and you got ego, and they're steering the car, driving the car, you don't get where you're going. You never get where you're going.
Right, and then the story goes that E-Money Bags got killed in retaliation for the murder of Black Just.
I don't know about none of that. You know what I mean? I don't know. People had their theories, because he didn't, I know he didn't mean to kill Just. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know retaliation and, I don't know about none of that.
Right. Well, you don't have to comment on it. I mean, this is how the story goes. But it's just a very sad, ugly situation.
It was very ugly, you know what I mean? Because everybody lost their life. You know what I'm saying? Everybody. You know what I'm saying? And it's just a shame how this ignorance still live amongst us. It's a shame.
Right. At this point, 2001, 2002, are you still in contact with Jam Master Jay? Because this is the dude that kind of put you on in the music game and everything else like that.
I'm always in contact with Jay.
So you're always in contact with him.
Jay stepped to me one day and he said, yo, because what we talked about just a little while ago about that artist, the rapper, the girl that told on me, he signed her. He brought her in. And he said, yo, Bim, that's, that's me, I said, Jay, I'm home, man. I ain't doing nothing to that girl, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm home, bro. I don't care about all that. You know what I'm saying? I did my time. You know what I'm saying? I'm stay over here. She stay over there. I don't care about all that, man. It's all part of the game.
Right. But then in 2002, Jam Master Jay gets killed.
Yeah.
In his own studio.
I remember that day, too, because I went to visit my nephew, KK. He just came home doing 25. He just came home. I was on a visit with him, and I got off the visit, and my man that drove me up there, he had got the call that Jay got shot. Nigga didn't say he got killed. He said Jay got shot. And I said, what? I said, go to Queens now. We're on New York Thruway. I think it was coming from Green Haven or one of them jails upstate. It wasn't far. And I told him to press on it. And when I got to Queens, it started drizzling. And I said, Jay's dead. And when I got the car, 5 minutes later, I seen Leo. Everybody was on the block, rapping. Everybody was out there. And I seen them bring his bodies out. And, I shed a tear. I cried. Because, he's a main, real part of Run DMC. Like, kept that together. Kept that shit. Like, Jay, even with the Fresno riot, me and Hurricane run out there together during the riot. We ain't hiding. Everybody, we got Vanessa Williams in the dressing room. You know what I'm saying? All type of stuff going on. I said, man, we ain't staying here. We going out there. So Jay, Jay was a good dude, man. He grabbed, he brought the hood with him and gave you a shot. And he looked out. He looked out. He's a great man. Great man. Forever live in my heart.
Well, the case was unsolved for 15 years. Mm-hmm. But then in 2017, authorities announced they actually have 2 suspects that are being charged with it. Ronald Washington and Carl Jordan Jr., who happens to be the godson of Jam Master Jay.
Yeah, that's Big
I
D's son.
guess this was Run DMC's bodyguard's son.
No, he wasn't a bodyguard. He was a road manager.
Okay, road manager.
Because Leo Cohn became the road manager. He's the road manager.
Yeah, and I mean, Carl Jordan Jr., on his Instagram page, he's sitting next to Jam Master Jay murals, talking about, yo, I miss my man, and rest in peace, and everything else like that. You come to find out that this is one of the 2 dudes that allegedly killed him.
Yeah. Yeah, but...
When you heard that...
I heard it, and I know him. I know him.
You know both those guys or just Carl?
I know the other guy, because the night when I went to Jay's house, before, for the wake and all that, we go, you pay respect. He was there.
Wait. Carl Jordan Jr., the guy who's charged with killing Jam Master Jay.
Yeah, the other one.
Ronald Washington.
Tenard. He was there.
He goes to Jam Master Jay's wake.
He goes to his house. He was living in Jay's house.
His house.
He was living in his sister's house. He was living in the house. Yeah.
Wow.
You know what I mean? But I don't know. One thing about Vlad, I can't really, when dudes are charged and accused and dude was doing camera tricks, man, saying he did it, he really ain't do it, that dude did it to get away. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, you still don't know until evidence come out.
The trial hasn't happened. There's no plea deals yet.
Until
So
the evidence come out. I'm going to go to the trial.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit there because Jay, I owe Jay that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so you're going to the trial. You're going to sit in every day.
I owe Jay that. Jay, man, come on, man. He'll do that for me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, I remember I'm in Beverly Hills with him. I'm on a curb sitting there with a robe on, with BH on in Beverly Hills, over my clothes. And Jay come out on the curb, sit with me, and say, you got to leave the streets alone and stay with us. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, Jay, I'm getting too much money. Get a little per diem check. You know what I'm saying? I said, nah, I'm getting too much money. You know what I mean? But I'm going to think about it. You know what I mean? But he tried to save me a long time ago. I only got that time. He tried to save me a long time ago.
I mean, the story that's coming out around this was that Jam Master Jay had overextended himself. He's paying a lot of money for his family members and trying to really kind of maintain a lifestyle. And he started to hustle on the side. And essentially they're saying that this was essentially a drug deal that didn't work out and there was retaliation for that. When you heard that story, does it sound believable or do you think it's all bullshit?
I think it's bullshit because I never knew Jay to sell drugs. You know what I mean? He had groups. He getting paid for all his groups. Come on, he created Onyx. He signed 50. He had papers. He owned his own studio. You know, I think, like I said before, you gotta be careful because dudes paint these narratives to hide themselves. You know what I'm saying? To hide themselves. So I don't believe in Jay sold drugs. I don't believe that. He's not gonna go backwards.
Well, I'm sorry for your loss, man. Like I never got to meet him myself, but I was a
You
super
never met
fan.
him?
Like I never met him.
Who?
I never met him. What happened was I had moved to New York in 2002 to really pursue my DJ career, and that was the year that he died.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Nah, he's a great man. And like he's family orientated. You know, he kept Run DMC together. Like he fashioned. You know, he was a great man, a man's man. You know what I'm saying? A man like I learned to like rock music because of him. You know what I'm saying? I learned the diverse music because of him. We go somewhere, we on the road, he'll go to a club and they playing some crazy, and Jay would be like this, like going crazy. I'm looking at Jay like, this ain't our music. Like, but Jay would love that music. You know what I'm saying? And I watch him up there tear the steels up, man, like go crazy. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's a great man. His kids, you know, they lost a great man too, a great father. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I'm sorry for your loss, man.
Yeah.
I really am. Well, then in 2007, Supreme ends up getting convicted in federal court of racketeering, 2 murder for hire homicides, narcotics trafficking, engaging in illegal financial transactions with drug money, and he gets life in prison without the possibility of parole. And originally he gets put into a supermax, along with the world's most dangerous terrorists and everything
ADX.
else like that. Yep. When you heard of that conviction, what did you think?
I mean, it's a comrade of mine, so it hurt. I mean, you don't see nobody in prison, especially for life. You know what I'm saying? You know the old saying, you don't wish that on the enemy, not alone a dude that raised you. Like, you know what I'm saying? He raised me. So I don't want to see him in no jailhouse for life. You know what I mean? We gonna die. We gonna die in the streets. We don't die in no jail. You know what I'm saying? There ain't nothing about that.
Yeah, and I mean, in the process of his whole situation, Murder Inc. gets tied into him, essentially, and they get hit with a Fed case, and they became like the 1 or 2% that actually beat their Fed case.
They ain't beat it. Let me tell you something, man. If them boys want you, you ain't beating shit. They didn't want them. They wanted him. They wanted Supreme. They didn't want them. They want y'all to turn over. They want y'all to do whatever. You know what I mean? They was offered 6 months, I heard. Offered 6 months. You know what I'm saying? In like 6 months. You can do that in the shower. You know what I mean? To fight, let homeboy fight. Give them private lawyers. Let him fight. You know what I mean? He ended up with all them lives. You know what I'm saying? So, we all know. And the feds ain't offering no 6 months. I was taught by Supreme that I should be able to do 10 years out of my life. 10 years. And I'll always prepare for it. I'm ready to do it. So when I got that little Punk 3, I was like, let's go. You know what I mean? And I had fun. So I'm like, you know what I mean? I enjoy it because I was away from my family. But you should be able to do 10 years if you're playing in those streets. You should shut up and, like I always tell my guys, there's a flip side to that coin. It's a flip side.
I mean, have you talked to Supreme at all, like, since he's been locked up?
And I ain't talked to him since he's been locked up.
Is it because he's not allowed to have phone
No,
conversations?
he allowed, but he don't, being that me and 50 friendship, he don't, associate with me. Like, he don't, because guys, like, I would do an interview and guys would let him hear it. Like I did a Queen's Flip interview, and I spoke on something that I really didn't speak on it. I just spoke on what was said to the feds. They try to bring me in, a guy who told on them, try to bring me in and said that I was in the room, and I was like, no, I wasn't. Don't say that about me, bro. I wasn't there. I don't agree to nothing. I was not there. So when I spoke on that, dudes let him hear the phone from prison. And now he get a decision like, oh, Bim out there talking about me, saying I was, you know what I mean? So when I was younger, Prince told me, and I was going to visit Preem. Prince told me, he said, listen, when you go visit my uncle, make sure you tell him what really going with, don't add, you know what I mean? Because his mind is not where it's at like our mind. So he explained that to me. So when these guys hitting them with stuff and he's inside, I can see what they doing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right, you know what I mean? They already got him thinking You know, but one thing about me, I would never go against any man that taught me things in life. I would never, ever. You know what I mean? So, you know, these guys, you know, they don't be real guys. Like these guys today, they don't be real. That's why I left the streets, because I already seen it, the transition. I already seen these guys. So now you got a bunch of guys out here now that never did nothing back then, same age as me, but still, you know, taking from the youth, taking from the families and doing the same bullshit, you know what I'm saying? But now it's they hustle.
Well, and then in 2009, your nephew, Waka Flocka Flame, who's Deb's son, who's always sort of around the hip hop scene, he was always around Gucci and everything else like that when, you know, Deb was managing him, he comes out with his own hit song, Oh, Let's Do It.
Mm-hmm.
And you started to basically roll with him. And, you know, when me and Waka Flocka ran into each other at, was it Wycliffe Studio?
Yeah.
You were with him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It was actually very, you know, I don't know if you know what happened that day before you showed up, but what had happened was me and Waka never really met, but I remember I put up a post about Waka that he didn't like. It wasn't anything really insulting. It was sort of kind of a funny post, but I know he made a comment about how he didn't like it, right? So like Waka came in, and I remember my security wasn't there yet. My security was arriving a little bit later. But Waka came in, and I know he didn't know who I was, right? Because I don't put my face out there. But I'm like, fuck it. You know, we're men. I think me and him could have a conversation about it, right? Mm-hmm. So I was like, Waka, yo, I'm Vlad from Vlad TV. He's like, yo, we gotta talk, bro. We go outside. You know, Waka's, you know, I mean, I'm like 6'2", but Waka's like 6'4" or something, 6'4", right? He towered over me, right?
Yeah.
So I remember we go outside, he's looking at me, and I'm like, we go in the hallway, he's looking at me, and I'm like, all right, listen, I know you're upset about that one post, but if you notice, even with me knowing you're upset, we've been supporting you this whole time. We've been doing posts about you. We've been following your career and actually, you know, giving our media push behind you. And he was like, yeah, you're right. You're right. You have been doing that. I'm like, so I apologize for that one post, but by my actions, you see what I'm really about. And he's like, yeah, bro, that's a good point. So we ended up hugging it out, and we've been cool ever since. That's when you came in. And I think you already knew that Waka had a problem with me. So you were like, oh, you're Vlad? And I'm like, yeah, we already worked it out outside. Like, he's like, oh, okay, cool.
You remember that? Yo, that's funny. Because your voice is distinct, so you know your voice. So when I hear it, I'm like, oh, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's
and then
funny.
Later that night, we actually shot the music. Waka shot his music video that I was in.
Yeah.
Facts. And, you know, I think he put his chain on me. And I'm like in the video.
Yep.
And it was actually like, it was like a cool little moment.
Yeah.
That actually worked out well, I think, for everyone involved.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
So Waka started to go on a run. And then at one point, the two of you had a falling out.
Yeah.
And you're his uncle.
Yeah, I'm his uncle.
So a falling out between y'all is a little more than just a regular business.
No, I raised him. Yeah, it's a fact. But like Waka's a Gemini. So he's here this day, next day he here, you know what I mean? But overall, he's a good guy, great businessman. You know what I'm saying? He know what he want. So at that time, we was in Miami, and what's this dude's name, man? It begins with a J. He was on Love and Hip Hop with the girl in Miami, the big afro. He managed her. So Wak was like, yo, I think we should bring him on the team and let him help with the management, like that, right? Damn, I had his name just now. So his boy took us to his crib to meet them over to his crib in Miami. But my business partner, who's Jewish, she goes to the bathroom. She comes back. She pulled me to the side. Let me talk to you for a minute. What's up? She said, this is not their house. I said, how you know this ain't their house? They have no pictures. They have nothing. She knew, you know what I mean? She knew the things in the crib that wasn't theirs. And it turned out to be, it was a prop house. And this guy, they had his name again, just had it. And this this guy, Waka, wanted to put him on the team, and then Waka was calling my phone, and I wouldn't answer. And he kept calling my phone, and he said, "Yo, you ain't gonna answer your phone?" You know what I mean? And I said, if you bring this Julian. So he said, if you bring this dude in, I'm gone. I said, I want no parts of it. And he wound up doing my nephew right. He wound up not doing him right. You know what I mean? Because one thing I try to tell these young guys, wisdom is the best knowledge. Like having that time on you, you watch it. You watch that movie play out a lot of time. You know what I mean? You can watch it and be like, no, I've been there before. I ain't doing that. Oh, I've been there. I ain't doing that. You know what I'm saying? So you be knowing the story before it be played. So I already knew his story because I already warned already that this not their crib. You know what I mean? So and it came out to be right. You know what I mean? So, but that's my nephew. I'm always love him. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna love him, and we doing our thing now. I got a show right now. I called on him. I said, "Yo, won't you be my co-host?" And called a round table, and Waka, Angela Yee, Ghostface, on the throne right here with and I got the chicks running around with the cigars. It's in the cigar lounge, and it's all about up and coming artists. You know what I mean? The youth. It's all about that. And I got a band, and I got a hip hop violinist. And I got a DJ. So I let them play, they do these songs they've been doing, and I strip them. Like, that hook this week, change that by Waka put his input, Angela put input, Ghostface put his input. And then what I do is I take them, then I make them play in front of the band, perform them. Then Southside, who's 808 Mafia, I'm gonna sign them to Southside at the end. The best one is not like a who loses and all that. No, it's none of that. I'm just there to help the youth and make their records better. I know I can make their records better.
Right, and you had the Hip Hop Uncovered documentary last year on Hulu.
Yeah, Big U, thanks to Big U, you know what I mean? He called upon me to come on there. I mean, when Big U came, I called my sister, Deb, and I told Deb, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? So Deb was going to do it. She's like, we need more money. I was like, nah, Deb, let's do this. Let's get our opportunities. You know what I mean? So Deb jumped on the show with me, with Big U and Jack.
Yeah, Haitian Jack. I mean, I really know everyone on that show, like personally, to one degree or another. Like me and Haitian Jack have had conversations. I've interviewed Big U. I've interviewed Deb, and she's interviewed me.
And Trick.
You know each other.
Trick. Yeah, that's the bro. That's my guy, Trick. You know?
Yeah. I've interviewed Trick. Well, one of my guys interviewed Trick before. So yeah, I mean, it's all kind of.
You gotta meet him though. You gotta meet him.
Yeah, I haven't met him yet.
No, you gotta meet him. You gotta meet Trick.
Okay.
Good. Yo, man, I'm tell you something. On them sets and all that with Jack and everybody, all of us together, it was just crazy because we all live the same, but we live in different areas. However it was pinpointed to the government to make these areas, these red areas, we all try to survive to come out the same way and did the same things. You know what I mean? That was, to me, within us, is incredible, but it's just a bad thing, a bad experience that they gave all of us, that we had to, make our way out. You know what I'm saying?
Well, speaking of that, I mean, when you look at your career as a drug dealer, which you've left behind a long time ago.
Yeah.
But if you think about the drugs that you pushed in your own community to your own friends, family members, neighbors, associates, at the time you're just getting money and you're young. But here you are in your 50s, you could look back on it and you saw what crack did to Queens. And, when you look back on it, do you feel a level of regret, or do you feel like, well, if it wasn't me, it would have been someone else?
No, I never had that attitude. It wasn't me, be somebody else. It was me, and that's all I was taught. I didn't know no difference. I didn't know how to go get a 9 to 5. You know what I mean? My mom's had 3 jobs, but she didn't have time to teach me that because she had to, put food on the table. She had to keep the lights on. So she come home. She want a bed. She can't 8 kids tell you, do your homework, go to work today. She want a bed. You know what I mean? I had to respect that. So, I definitely regret, and me personally, I'll never sell drugs to a person I know. You know what I mean? Plus, when I did get to that point, I got boss status real fast. So I didn't know who's buying the drugs. You know what I'm saying? I just knew I was collecting that money. So I really didn't know. You know what I'm saying? So when we oppressed the way we was oppressed, with the way they had us with the welfare and all that craziness, you know what I mean? Like, what other means we had when you put the drugs here, so what do you think we're gonna do with it? Look at it or use it? I'm not using it. I'm gonna put it to work. Because I want this house in here, they hungry. They have nothing. And I want to show them something different than I'm melting some government cheese on some bread that never melt. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Some water with sugar in it. That's my first juice I ever had in my life, was some water with sugar in it. With no coloring, just water. And it was sweet. It was good. You know what I'm saying? I got tired of that. I got tired of my mom was going shopping once a month. And when she go to, it was a store in Queens called Gals. And Gals, you can buy juices. You can buy like 20 juices for like $6. So you can imagine what kind of juice that was. So when I called for school, it'd be mad juices in the refrigerator. Oh shit, we were shopping. It's mad juices. I'm like, where the food? You know what I mean? So my man Mark, his mom's, she used to work for the church. So the churches used to get the free lunches. So, you know, they had chicken patties. So when they have chicken patties, you know, you see some wars. So I found out he had a refrigerator in his garage and had all the chicken patties in it. So I go to his crib. I'm like, yo, man, I need some lunches, man. Right? And Mark would look at me like, yo, I'm gonna eat 2. Nigga, your mom got a whole refrigerator downstairs full of chicken patties. So we get downstairs, he opened it, I grabbed mad chicken patties. And I tried to run. It hit me. And then me and him outside fighting for the chicken patties, and I scoop them up. And I jet, and I go home with like a couple of chicken patties. You know what I'm saying? I told him in the refrigerator, I said, yo, nobody touched my chicken patties. So I'm in jail, I'm in jail, like nobody touched the chicken patty in the refrigerator. Yo, man, I go outside, I come back, 2 chicken patties left. Man, I want to beat my whole house up. Like, you know how it take me to get them chicken patties? You know, so God bless them. You know what I mean? But it's just crazy. You know, some things, man, in life, man, you look back, it's funny, but at that time, it wasn't funny because you serious about them chicken patties, you know what I mean? And my mom's is real strict when it comes to a rule she taught us. It was, don't go next door and ask somebody for nothing. You know what I mean? No milk, no sugar. If you ain't got it, you ain't got it. And that's a rule, you know, I wish I would have not learned, because you're supposed to ask for help. You know what I mean? I used to go across the street to my people's house across the street, and I sit in the living room like all day because they cook. It's like their household had like 6 adults, and all 6 adults work. So they was getting money in the crib. So they always cooking, they always have all types of stuff, cakes, pies. So I'm just sitting there like, are you hungry? Yeah, I'll eat some of that. I go home, my moms know I ate at their crib. So I get a beating like, yo, you over there asking people for food? I said, nah, Mom, they offered me the food. You know what I'm saying? So it was really tough. Like, it was really tough. So, you know, that's why I probably really went to the streets, because I wanted to get my own stuff.
Well, now you're working on a movie with 50 Cent?
Yeah, my life story.
About your life?
Yeah, my life story. You know what I'm saying? I'm working on 3 movies. Like, one I got one with my homegirl, Jackie Hernandez, and it's called Last Man Standing. And it's me, Blue Boy, my bro you interviewed.
Yeah, I just interviewed him, yeah.
Yeah, Blue Boy, Soul B, B.O., D from Rough Riders, Bobby Brown, and AZ from Harlem. And
I interviewed also, yeah.
Yeah. So what it is like I'm telling you a story. I'm telling you a story, but I'm walking down Park Avenue, and I dip into the hotel. As I go into the hotel, I'm landing in that story. I'm at that story, so I'm gonna be able to. But I'm you know, narrate that story by watching it. So like when Blue tell his story, he gonna be in jail all day, commissary, this, that, you know. But then he gonna go to before he get to that gate, the gate don't open, but his body go through the gate. Now he in the yard with Larry Davis and the guy, whatever. it's gonna be reenacted. Like it's gonna be, D with the bike, different stuff. Like it's gonna be different scenarios that were all of us. AZ, what he went through, like it's gonna be like a lot of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, and back to our first point of like, the one you're working on with 50 Cent, I mean, he's really done a great job of
Excellent.
Really kind of creating this universe of street guys. He almost, I feel like someone said like, 50 Cent created the Marvel universe for drug dealers, like in a way. You know what I'm saying? Like between Power and BMF and everything else like that, and Kanan and all the spin-offs and everything else like that.
Yeah.
He calls himself Greenlight Gang, and he's done a great job actually of bringing a lot of these stories to the to the TV screen.
No, he definitely, I'm proud of him. He did his thing, and he's from our neighborhood. So how can you not champion that? How can you not, give him that? You know what I mean? How you can't hate greatness.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't hate on him. I would never, ever. I mean, if we wasn't doing business, I wouldn't, because it come from that soil that I come from. You know what I mean? He come from the same soil.
Well, Bimmy, you've defied the odds because, as we went through the story, when you look at all the people that you were close to in your contemporaries, Supreme, life in prison, Black Just, killed, Fat Cat, life in prison, right?
No, he got 80 years, something like that. But he supposed to come home,
80
though.
years.
They say he coming home, though. I don't know, but we'll see. But he supposed to come home. Nobody belongs to me, though.
But still, you're talking about...
He did a lot of time, though. 37 years.
A lot of time.
A lot of time.
Pappy Mason, life in prison.
Yeah.
The guys that are involved in Edward Burns' murder, 25 to life.
Yeah. He's going on 30 years. He's going on 31 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, and here you are, you did 3 years and you never went back.
You know what's crazy? Like when I was growing up, my grandmother and my mom's, they put me in church, right? They Christians. You know what I mean? And I remember one year they put me in church. I had an orange suit on. My sisters and brothers cracked on me with glitter. So they used to crack on me and shit. This nigga, and I had some black patent leather shoes. So they thought I was a clown and shit. But I liked it, my suit. I was going around the neighborhood showing off like, yo, see my suit? But the shit was crazy. Look at it now, shit was crazy, right? But I was going to church and I was like praising and whatever. And then when I got with Supreme and them, all of them was 5%ers. Just, Preem, Prince, Baby Born, Righteous, Green Eye Born. Like, everybody's righteous. Me, I'm not. I'm a Christian. You know what I mean? And not now, no, but, and I prayed. And when I look at it, all the 5%ers believe they God. You know what I mean? They God. I never believed I was God. You know what I mean? So, and I look at it that way, that, damn, it is a God. Because everybody's going, I'm the only one here. You know what I'm saying? I'm here talking to you, like, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of guys is not. And one thing I learned in life, which I learned from Supreme, is you gotta learn to spare people. You know what I mean? Because you never know one day when you want to be spared. So you have to spare people. You know what I mean? So I spared a bunch of people, and that's probably why I'm spared. Some I didn't, that's why things happened to me. But some I did. A lot I did.
That's great advice, man. That's some OG advice right there. That sometimes you got to spare people. You got to give people that pass and give people that grace. You're right, because you're going to do wrong along the way, and you're going to need that forgiveness as well.
When it's your time, they're going to look at you like, hey, remember, you ain't spare that person. Yeah, take this. You know what I mean? You got to take it. Like, I watched the youth, man, and the youth, like, when they say they smoking on a pack or they smoking this dude, and these guys understand that we all become spirits when we leave here. We become spirits, you believe it or not. If you look at these guys and you look at certain things happening to them right after that, you can't disrespect no spirit, because his spirit's still roaming, and he's more powerful up there than down here. You know what I mean? Sometimes you gotta just bow down, man. God bless your soul. You know what I mean? God bless your soul.
That's how we're going to end it. Bimmy, man, appreciate, you spending the time to talk. And
yeah, great time.
Congrats on everything you're about to do. You know?
Yeah, I got ice cream
congrats
coming
on
out.
everything you've done, but congrats on what you're about to do.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking forward
I
to.
got ice cream coming out, me and Big U, called 2 OGs. It's nice. Got an ice cream. I got tequila, El Podino. That means Godfather. It's a tequila. You know what I mean? So it's a lot that I'm doing as, you know, just trying to give off jobs and give back. You know, I got my nonprofit called What If Foundation. I took a bunch of kids to see Sesame Street the other day, you know what I mean, at the UBS Arena. You know what I mean? I bought them a bunch of toys and, you know, and they had a bunch of fun for my projects and, you know what I mean? So my next trip, I want to take them abroad. I want to take them out of the country so they can just see something different. You know what I mean? And not just from their area. Eat some different food and see the kids that got no shoes. Like, you know, they got nothing. Like, you got something. You know what I'm saying? So my nonprofit is for that reason, you know what I mean, to give back, you know what I mean? And I started program on Rikers Island. I work up there. I'm working my contract now, you know what I mean? You know, and I'm ready to do a joint in Jersey with Lesniak, you know, the former senator. Me and him we're gonna work together, you know what I mean? So there's a lot that I gotta give back that I know is my mission that I have to give back, you know what I'm saying? Because I ain't ready to go nowhere yet.
I love it, man. Well, Bimmy, man, until next time.
Man, respect to you, Vlad.
No
Good
doubt.
looking, bro.
Peace.
Peace.